Hello, my name is Shachar Lubin, but everyone calls me Shay. It's easier. 6 years ago I fell in love with a city. Hanoi has caught my heart. It's been many years now, but I never get bored with its constantly changing, adapting, shifting and exciting cuisine. A cuisine that, like the people themselves, never stands still. A city has many clocks for life and for people. There are times you have to rush to work or school, and there are times you just want to sit down and relax with a nice cup of coffee. Food is the same. There are times for eating a nice bowl of noodles, times for rice, and time for a steak dinner. When you spend a whole day in Hanoi, one of the things you notice the most is how the food scene changes from one hour to the next, just like the traffic. It's morning rush hour in Hanoi, but as busy as modernized as Hanoi's become, traditional breakfast habits are slow to change. With modernity comes stress. It's 7:30 in the morning and everybody's in a rush. Kids are rushing to get to school, young adults are rushing to get to work, and the parents are rushing to get what they think is the most important meal of the day, breakfast, into the kids' stomach before getting them to school so they can study and succeed with life. The pace of life is quick, and parents get children their breakfast in shops right around the school. Breakfast items vary from noodles to sticky rice to stuffed steamed rice crepes or bancorn and to bread. Some students are in such a hurry they don't sit down to eat at all, but just grab a box of milk for the morning's calorie needs. In the middle of a maelstrom of Hanoi's morning rush, I find an island of calm for myself, with a dish popular with both young children and the elderly. I sit down at Chi Ha's Chow Suon store. Ha's porch isn't famous outside her neighborhood, but she isn't different than the many other hard-working women in the city who can whack a pot on the street and start serving breakfast. Hot and steamy, chow, Vietnamese rice porridge or soup. This is great as it's a little cold out here. Everybody likes it, children, old people. And if you had a little too much to drink the night before, this is great. Got a little bit of pork in it, some donuts. It's gonna really warm up my inside. Every morning from 6 to 8 a.m., Ha set up a pot of rice porridge to feed breakfast to the neighborhood. I love how she always smiles at customers and passerbys, while her hands have a life of their own, agilely chopping ingredient and ladling chow. Adult breakfast time is a little bit late compared to the children, of course. As I pass through an alley where people are serving pho bo, a very famous breakfast in Hanoi, I see a mother enjoying a bowl with her carriage behind her, and a couple ordering their favorite food after dropping their beloved kid at school. This scene reminds me of the pure and simple joy that people here have in the morning, and I suddenly have a craving for a bowl of another Hanoi specialty. Guess what that dish is? I'm trying a mot bat buntang.
Okay.
Now this is a very complex dish, got a lot of ingredients he's going to be putting in there. He's going to be warming up some noodles right now. Just a little bit so they stay a little crunchy and not overly cooked. And he has a lot of ingredients here to add for me. He's adding some chicken. He has some shredded egg. This is a very special ingredient. It's like a dry radish. He rehydrated. It's going to have a little bit of a tangy flavor and a little bit of this kind of ham, pork kind of thing. And then ton of herbs, because in Hanoi you can never have too little herbs. Now the most important thing for me when I eat noodles is the broth, and this broth smells amazing. He's also throwing a few meatballs in there, I see, and some mushrooms. So every bite's gonna be different because there's about 5 million things in this. It's gonna taste amazing. Let me try not to burn myself. One of the things I like about Vietnamese food is that it's kept open. The flavor is really up to the customer to finish. I have some citrus, all kind of chilies, fresh, in sauce, a little bowl of fish sauce. I definitely like it spicy, so I'm gonna add quite a bit of this chili. Mix it in. Now, a little trick people don't know. When I squeeze my citrus, I squeeze it into the spoon, and then I block and keep the seeds out. And a little bit more chili because I want to warm up. It's a little cold out here. Phenomenal. Breakfast time for Hanoi is often finished before most foreigners have even gotten up and had their morning coffee. By 9 a.m., most popular street stalls are normally closed already or are quickly running out of food. Chiha, the chow soon seller I met earlier, is now at her flat, which is in the first floor of a small building in a residential quarter, not far from her store. She is cooking a pot of a different kind of perch meat for the afternoon market. This time it isn't pork rib meat with the rice, but a shellfish called chai, a kind of freshwater oyster.
Gọi dậy từ 4 rưỡi sáng, còn mình dậy từ 5 giờ ở Hà Nội. Làm chai rất lâu, mấy tiếng mới xong. Có chai thì thường bán cho thanh niên, công nhân viên đi làm về ăn từ 5 giờ đến 7 giờ.
The shellfish is highly nutritious and full of vitamins. Many Vietnamese people believe that it can help improve their health and is particularly beneficial for children. While Hai is slicing shallots, her husband scissors the oyster flesh into small pieces. Chiha browns the sliced shallots in oil. She then adds the oyster pieces into the sizzling and aromatic onion pan. The shallots and oysters flavor will come together well before Chiha will put them into the boiling pot of porridge. This herb is called zao zao. Vietnam has a rich abundance of herbs, and Vietnamese cooks use them wisely in their food, always matching the right herb with the right preparation, even for a simple dish as sao chai. It is simple, but the taste is really good and balanced. The ratio of ingredients is key and has been preserved in the family for dozens of years. What a beautiful couple. Now that they finished cooking this, they're gonna put it away. In about 4 hours, they're gonna start selling it to some lucky people in the neighborhood. Putting smiles on people's faces, which is what cooking is all about. Now, I've had quite a bit to eat this morning, so I'm quite full. Before lunch, I'm gonna walk around this beautiful city a little bit and build an appetite. The Thai area attracts both locals and expatriates like me for its fresh air and beautiful scenery. As the city's traffic has become more and more congested, a chance to look at the open water, the beautiful pagoda, and the old twisty trees is really a feast for the eyes. Speaking of a feast, this area is also a hub for good food in the city. After a heavy breakfast, I have no more room for anything savory. But how about a sweet treat? Chào em. Làm ơn cho anh một cái kem sữa. Cảm ơn em. Over the last few years, a lot of Western-style ice cream places are open around Hanoi. But this place has been in since 1956. They still do traditional Vietnamese ice cream, and they haven't changed the recipe at all since then. It's not as fatty or as soft as Western ice cream, but I love it, flavored with coconut, and only 6,000 dong, which is just slightly more than a quarter. It's a great deal. Life is becoming faster and faster, everywhere in the world, including Hanoi. It's lunchtime and you can actually see the high-rises emptying out to the street. Everybody's looking for a quick bite to eat just before they get back to the office. They only got about an hour, so they're looking for something close, easy, but still feels a little bit like home-cooked meal. In Hanoi, food options vary from street to street for the days of the week and from hour to hour. Common dishes will include tofu, pork belly or other parts of pork, fried fish, chicken, green vegetables, and fried eggs. Look at all that good stuff. I'm eating kombing zan for lunch. Kombing zan I like to translate as the people's rice. It's sort of like a home-cooked kind of meal, but outside. You order rice, you order a few toppings. It's all cooked already and warm, so you don't have to wait, and you can eat it quickly before going back to the office. I'm gonna enjoy all of this, so I'm gonna dig in and I'll talk to you later. The rice and topping always come with a side bowl of light broth that can differ from shop to shop to moisten and flavor the rice. While rice is preferred by men, when it comes to lunch, noodles of various types are more to local women's taste. Girls often don't eat large meals, but graze on smaller offerings throughout the day. One thing I love about Hanoi is no matter what the time, there's food everywhere. Between breakfast and lunch and dinner, you can always find a friendly girl with a bicycle with some snacks on her bag. It could be peanuts like the one I just bought. It could be some dried fish, some dried meat. But whatever the time, you can find something to eat. I've eaten already, but I've lived here for 5 years and I've learned that there's always room for another snack. It's 3:30. Lunchtime is over and the city looks quiet. But inside the kitchens, the chefs and cooks are busy preparing for dinner time. I'm heading to the outskirts of the city to meet my good friend Mr. Tang, who will teach me a few tricks about one of my favorite dishes. Banana leaves, rice, pork, mushrooms. These are simple ingredients, but the Vietnamese have come up with a dazzling array of ways to use them. On an old-school coal-burning stove, Mr. Tang mixes rice powder into a boiling pot. This is hard work. He has to stir it constantly above the hot coals. If he stops for even a short minute, the whole mix will get lumpy. This sort of rice pudding will be mixed with stuffing made with pork and mushroom duxelles.
Sir,
Hey,
xin chào.
xin chào.
Tìm nhà có xa không?
Không khó.
Không có à? Có xa, không khó.
Mr. Tang is one of the greatest bangzou makers in Hanoi. He's been doing it for over 25 years, using his own recipe, which he perfected. He hasn't changed anything except he switched to a motorbike a few years ago. Anh Tang, em có thể thu làm không?
Được.
Đôi trăm lại là một.
Đây này.
He's been doing this for so long, his hands work all by themselves.
Làm cái này. Đây.
Bangzou is very traditional Vietnamese, but it's amazingly similar to another dish I love on the other side of the world, tamale from Central America. Except that tamale is made with corn. It's always interesting when completely different cultures come up with such similar ideas, but still with a distinctive local signature.
Chùm lên. Đưa lên. Đây. Đây à.
Ah.
Bình tĩnh cứ làm từ từ, bảo anh dạy từ từ vén từ từ vào.
Đây.
Cái tay lại ép.
Khó nhất là cái lúc ra bánh nóng. Ra cái bánh bột nóng. Không thể nào, không quen không thể làm được. Mỗi một ngày thì tôi chỉ có làm có 100 cái thôi. Tại vì là cái lượng tay của tôi gói chỉ được 100 cái.
Okay, I didn't do a particularly good job, but he has 25 years experience and I have about 3 minutes, so maybe in 7 minutes I will be as good as he is. Let's go. That's a big pot right here, and it should fit exactly 100 every time, so he knows it's going to be cooked perfectly. Still using coals. I don't know if it gives any flavor, but why not? Together the bangzou steaming in the pot over there, getting all hot and steamy and yummy. We are now cutting some zotit. It's sort of kind of force meat, sort of like a cold, smooth pate made from pork meat. This is going to taste amazing together with the hot bangzou. And I can't wait, so I'm having a few pieces myself.
Rồi.
I've had Mr. Tang bangzous many times, but this is the first time I've been honored to visit his home, eat with his beautiful family, and he even taught me some of his secrets. But for the rest of the family, this is time to relax and get ready for bed. For him, it's just the beginning of his evening. He's going to go out there and sell bangzous until 4 in the morning, so we got to get finished with this meal as quickly as we can and get the hell out of here.
Ngon. Ngon không? Tí nữa thôi. Lắm nhỉ? Ăn thì bảo bớt lại.
It's 7:30, and with his motorbike loaded with bangzou, Mr. Tang is heading to the old caller to start his workday. Mr. Tang has a great skill in finding the best places to sell his food. For 25 years, he's been working the streets of the old quarter. The neighborhood has seen many changes, and he shifted with them. Let's wish him to sell out quickly tonight and go back home to his family early. As you can see, food in Hanoi is a 24-hour affair. No matter what time of the day, somebody is frying, chopping, or serving some kind of dish. I'm pretty full, but I'm gonna check back on that buntang shop that I went to earlier and see as they prepare for tomorrow's meal. Buntang is a complex dish. Not only does the broth include more than 20 spices and herbs, but the number of toppings that are added. They all have to be cooked separately for them to mix well in the bowl. The story goes that it started as a kind of scrap meal, tossed together from the chopped leftovers of the New Year's feast and served on the 4th day of the lunar calendar. Since then, it has become more sophisticated, with all its parts made from scratch, and luckily for us, available year-long. Chi Thuyen's shop, like many similar Vietnamese restaurants, specializes in only 1 or 2 to 3 at the most dishes, so they can serve as perfect a dish as they can. Chào Chi, chào em.
Em
Chào
chào anh
anh.
ạ.
Em đang làm gì?
Chuẩn bị nguyên liệu để làm cho cái món bún thang phục vụ cho sáng ngày mai em ạ. Đây là nấm hương.
Nấm hương khô.
Rồi, nấm hương khô đây. Ngâm để cho nó mềm ra, sau đó mình
Rồi
sẽ tẩy.
nuốt
Phải
nhóm.
ngâm bằng nước ấm thì nó mới mở bông các cái cánh này ra nào. Sau đó thì mình sẽ rửa lại bằng nước sạch cho hết sạn.
Bao lâu?
Ngâm trong này như thế này khoảng độ 10 phút em ạ.
10 phút.
Ngâm 10 phút.
Cái này tên là gì?
Cái này là củ cải khô này.
Ốt này rốt cải không?
Có Thái.
Có thể tu ăn không?
Có.
Ăn cay giỏi ghê nhỉ.
Ồ, cay.
Cái đúng
Cay.
không?
Và cái kia là gì?
Cái này là tôm nõn làm ruốc tôm.
Tôm khô.
Tôm khô làm ruốc tôm.
Cho gì?
Cho vào bún thang, gia vị của bún thang.
Hả? Rất mong.
Rất mỏng.
Tôi có thể gặp em. Chị ơi,
Đấy.
mày vô bà đồ làm hàng.
Cái này rất là nhiều công đoạn nên bọn mình phải chuẩn bị từ rất sớm. Thường
Vâng.
thường là 9-10 giờ tối là có một số việc phải làm, chứ còn lại là để sáng ngày hôm sau phải làm sớm, là phải từ 3 giờ sáng ngày hôm sau.
Vâng.
Vâng.
Ai dạy chị nấu bún thang?
Cái nghề này là mình được ảnh hưởng từ mẹ đẻ của mình ấy. Thông thường như mọi khi thì mẹ mình là thỉnh thoảng thì vào những ngày lễ Tết ấy, thì phục vụ cho gia đình ăn là sau những ngày lễ Tết. Nhưng sau này thì là mẹ mình có về và mở thêm một quán bún thì gánh rong ở trên các con phố thôi. Mình cũng chưa bao giờ mình có ý tưởng là mình sẽ theo nghề của mẹ, nhưng mà nó cũng là cái cơ duyên đấy. Vâng.
Rồi, come on, chị Thuyen. It is getting really late, so I'm gonna let them finish and get some rest before starting tomorrow again. I had an amazing day today in Hanoi. I met some beautiful people, had some really tasty food, but my tummy is full and I'm starting to feel sleepy. So I'm gonna say goodbye and good night. But before that, I will wish you have a delicious day in Hanoi tomorrow. Goodbye.